Hi, welcome to sommscents. So today I have just a few minutes and I'm going to do a quick video about race car fragrances, fragrances for something like a Formula One, a NASCAR, talk a little bit about these awesome car scents that I adore. And why am I doing this? So we have a son who's 5 years old and absolutely bananas and car crazy. So we've been going to some races, all kinds of races, NASCAR races, different formula races, Indy races, boxcar races, you name it, we've been going. This is not super my jam. I like quieter sports like tennis, things like that. But I've been learning. It's been so fun for our family. We've been having a great time. And I do love car fragrances. I love gasoline and notes, asphalt and notes like that. So let's get into it. First of all, what is Formula One, right? So Formula One is an international open wheel single seater racing event sanctioned by the FIA. The FIA Formula One World Championship has been one of the premier forms of racing around the world since its inaugural season in 1950. It kind of started out really, it got super going like after World War II when people would just like put together spare parts of cars they found like in the rubble, after the war, and would race anywhere for a very long time. These races were done on just open city streets, practicing around, regular traffic. And it's been extremely dangerous. If you look at the history of Formula One and the history of racing is really interesting because you get to see how dangerous it is. I mean, the people who do this, must have a stomach of steel to take on the risk that they do. And unfortunately, there have been quite a lot of deaths in the sport. So it's a combination of, it's especially Formula One. There's like a lot of billionaires and huge corporations that kind of play in this area. And then even down to like, your local racetrack, there's still so much risk. And there is a lot of innovation. There's a lot of technology involved. There's a lot of engineering. So it's a combination of some interesting things. And once you get to know kind of the politics of it, the innovation, the science of it, wow, there's just a lot, right, to learn about and to know about. It makes it very complicated and really fascinating. So the Formula One season, we're right in the middle of it right now. It consists of a series of races known as Grand Prix. The Grand Prix take place in multiple countries and continents around the world. And you can either race on like purpose-built circuits or closed public roads. At least they close the roads, which is great. The 2023 calendar, this year's calendar, features 22 Grand Prix. We're kind of right in between. I think the Belgian Grand Prix finished and the Dutch one is maybe next. There's a new Grand Prix this year that's being introduced in Las Vegas that will debut in November, and it's a street race. So if you're around in Las Vegas, definitely check it out. It's super fun. Personally, I recommend going to one of the clubs. Again, it's just quieter, and they offer some, food and beverage, and then they have some headphones that you can wear during the race because it's tremendously loud. If you're going to go in the stands or on the street, please bring your own ear protection. If you do go to the club, remember it's business casual, and you really shouldn't, like, if you're rooting for someone, try not to dress in their colors. Try to be a bit more neutral. Anyway, let's get started with the fragrances. So my favorite race car fragrance that is truly, truly an artistic evocation of what it is like to be at a racetrack is Rubini Nuvolari. Technically, it's a woody, spicy fragrance launched in 2021, made by Cristiano Canali. The top notes are gasoline, black pepper, Italian lemon. There's motor oil, metallic notes, mint, rose, neroli, asphalt, an asphalt accord, and Braxton, Haitian vetiver, and Laotian oud. It's named after a really great racer, a race car driver named Nuvolari. And they really do capture this kind of, like spark plugs and all the oils that go into a car and the hot asphalt and the gasoline. And it works, right? It smells like being at a racetrack, all those hot, oily smells. And it's really brave. It's really big. It's bold. It's fantastic. I think it smells gorgeous. I wouldn't wear it everywhere, and I would definitely sample it. It's not for everyone, I think, but I think it works beautifully in the cold weather, like wearing jeans, wearing a leather jacket. It's so attractive. It's so wonderful. So if you're interested, to me, this is the most probably accomplished perfume that really truly smells like a race track, a race car. a little bit more of maybe more elegant take on the idea of a racetrack or a race car is Nostalgia by Santa Maria Novella. I adore this fragrance. It was launched in 2002, and the notes are styrax, petitgrain, bergamot, tobacco, patchouli, some woody notes, some cedar. There's leather, birch tar, vanilla, musk mallow, and amber. So this fragrance, according to the brand, it was made to really evoke old-fashioned classic Italian racing cars. So you get, for me, I get, it starts off with kind of that gasoline burning tire, what I love, beautiful kind of race car evocation. And then it has this gorgeous tobacco suede soft leather kind of mid with a little like softer vanilla dry down, but that leather and tobacco is still there. This is amazing. I think you can wear this anytime all year round. Super elegant, super refined, but does have those notes, that kind of this nostalgic idea of like the car, the classic car, maybe a more old-fashioned idea of a race. But here's the thing. In real life, racing is so much safer now for the audience members, for the drivers. Like this, nostalgia, when at least I'm learning, in my opinion, nostalgia when it comes to race car driving, I feel like that's kind of a PR idea, because it's been super rough and tumble. I invite you to go and learn more about racing for yourself, because it's always been really, really dangerous and pretty violent a sport, in my opinion. I think it's gotten a lot safer, which is great. So that's a wonderful thing that's happening within the sport now, because you don't want to take your kid to a race and have them witness something like a violent death, right? But anyway, this fragrance is fantastic. Another fragrance that I absolutely adore, I loved it when it first came out. I wore it at the time, and I still love it, is Bvgari Black. This came out in 1998, and Annick Minardo is the kind of brilliant genius that made it. The notes are green tea, bergamot and rose, sandalwood, cedar, and jasmine. And then you have a leather, this beautiful kind of leather, vanillic, amber, musky base, a little bit of oak moss, which is great. And it even looks like a tire, right? So this fragrance was really known for its like lap song souchong note. It's urban. It's got that. It's got like car, like leather seat fragrance, some like rubber tire, a little bit of asphalt. To me, it smells like the inside of a car. Like it smells like taking a road trip. It smells like the inside of a car, driving down the road, taking a road trip. A very American experience, in my opinion. It smells like kind of like a suburban experience growing up when you didn't really have anything to do. There wasn't social media like in the 90s. We would like just get in our car and drive around and see who else was driving around. And I mean, that was kind of what there was to do back in the day. And it's really nostalgic for me and brings back those memories of just hanging out in your car as a teenager and even in college, right? So anyway, Bvgari Black is another it's again, a little bit softer, a little bit more like a perfume, but still has those car notes, which is really great. Of course, we cannot have this list without mentioning Dior's Fahrenheit, launched in 1998 by Jean-Louis Soizac, Michel Amirac, and Maurice Roger. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing any of those names. The top notes are nutmeg flower, lavender, cedar, chamomile, mandarin orange, hawthorn, bergamot, and lemon. Middle notes are violet leaf, nutmeg, cedar, sandalwood, carnation, honeysuckle, jasmine, lily of the valley. And base notes are vetiver, leather, musk, amber, patchouli, and tonka bean. So this fragrance is super, super famous for having a petrol, violet leaf gasoline thing that kind of moves into a beautiful leather accord with a touch of lavender, like linalool, floral-y. And then really it's that pull between this like petrol, gasoline, and leather that kind of goes back and forth in the fragrance. That's really stunning. Back in the day, it was really maybe brave, maybe innovative. So I hear, and just a lovely fragrance. It still is. It's still fantastic. Lots of vintage heads. They swear by the original formulation, which of course has changed over time. I think it's still great. I think lots of the iterations of, because it, different bottles from different years are going to smell a little bit differently, because that's the way the perfumery works, based on many things, based on regulations, based on availability of materials, based on lots of things. Anyway. Great fragrance. Definitely, this is a classic one for car fragrance for that petrol note. Definitely check it out if you're interested. Let's see. Oh, another fabulous fragrance was actually made by a car company. I'm just going to talk about my memory of this fragrance because my sample is gone and I haven't purchased a full bottle yet. I would like to one day. And this is Bentley for Men. So this is an amber spicy fragrance launched in 2013. The nose is Natalie Lorson. And we have bay leaf, black pepper, bergamot. Middle notes are rum, cinnamon, woody notes, clary sage. Base notes are leather, benzoin, patchouli, and cedar. So this is a Bentley car company that started over 100 years ago. And so their first fragrance is kind of based on the like bay rum aftershave vibe. So it has those kind of bay spices, traditional Jamaican like bay rum like mix. So it's this great kind of woody, spicy fragrance that has like a touch of those like tropical fruit, dark sugar, earthy terroir tones. It kind of dries down to like an tobacco leather patchouli thing with a little bit of balsamic notes, in my opinion, that I enjoyed wearing, my husband enjoyed wearing for the time we had our little sample, and we might get a bottle, but it's definitely a classic if you're interested in this kind of these kind of scents. And it's definitely for a lot of car companies make fragrances that kind of represent their brand, and this is definitely a famous one to check out. Another one that I really love is Cartier's Roadster. This is a sample I got from Ramsey. Thank you so much, Ramsey. This is an aromatic fougere for men, launched in 2008. Yeah, it's really nice. The nose is Mathilde Laurent. It's got mint, vetiver, patchouli, vanilla, labdanum, and bergamot. Another good friend, Rich Mitch, also loves this. And for me, this is a cool breeze. This reminds me of driving a classic convertible through the countryside. It's beautifully green and kind of green in this gorgeous bucolic way. It's got this strong mint, like patchouli vetiver thing. It's like reminding me of being in high school when one of my high school boyfriends, like we took a trip in a convertible and drove through the mountains, and we stopped like along the side of the road to eat some watermelon, like took a hike in the woods, like, just hanging out and being kids. Yeah. So it's beautiful driving with the windows open kind of scent. And so definitely Cartier's Roadster, definitely one to check out. Another really cool fragrance is called Clutch. This is an amber spicy fragrance launched in 2018. The nose is Justin Federico. I kind of don't want to open my box. It's so beautiful. It's got this cool little wax seal. There's a bottle inside that I still have a couple samples that I'm working through. The top notes are smoke and elemi. Middle notes are ginger, oak, red cedar, and base notes are vanilla, leather, and musk. So if Roadster is driving with the windows open on a spring, maybe a summer day through the forest, Clutch is driving in New England in the fall, right? Like again, with a convertible or with the windows open, you get those leather seats, the kind of car smells with this one, plus like fall leaves, cool air, hot tires, and really crisp. In the fall you can get air that's like crisp and warm. So that's kind of what you get like with the smoke and the elemi in the beginning. In the fall people burn leaves, right? You kind of get that smoke in the like far distance. And then ginger, I get a lot of ginger. It's kind of like the main note in the middle with the cedar kind of coming in to warm it up. And then a really luxurious like car leather seats. So this one is like driving through New England in the fall. It's fabulous. Let's see. Oh, another wonderful perfume with those notes of petrol and notes of gasoline. It's actually, so petrol and gasoline, this is something that the Joseph Quartana, like if you see an interview with him online, he makes a really great distinction between the notes of gasoline and petrol, which do smell differently. So this has, as described by the brand, a rocket fuel accord. It has rocket fuel and kind of leather, and then like a warm ambery base. So top notes are gasoline, not petrol, and styrax. Middle notes are suede and spices, and base notes are amber and vetiver. So this fragrance is amazing. It won an Art and Olfaction Award in 2022, I believe. Or maybe, no, sorry, 2023. So this year's Art and Olfaction, it won an award. It's a beautiful fragrance, and it truly does smell like, to me, it smells like the launch pad at NASA, which for reasons we've been to, and it has this cool like fuel, like big burst of fuel in the beginning, and then it goes through these really lots of movement and interesting stages, you get to this really interesting leather, and then a really beautiful, soft, lovely dry down. Definitely check this one out. I've talked about it before in my other videos. Another one is by Clandestine Laboratories called Madrid. This is launched in 2021, and the nose is Mark Sage. So this is kind of has a magnolia accord in it, and according to Mark, this fragrance is kind of based on magnolia flowers that were blooming in front of the royal palace in Madrid, plus a little bit of an animalic cedar fragrance that everyone was kind of wearing there in 2015. So it starts lemony, a little animalic. So this is one of those fragrances that has a cool kind of like clean but a little dirty, you know, like skin scent kind of a thing to it. It's not floral at all, but it does have a cool like herbaceousness to it, a little bit camphoraceous even. It has rosemary, lemon, magnolia, ginger, cedar, gasoline accord, a little bit of oiled leather, and some white musk. So this one is cool. And it does remind me, when I wear it, it reminds me of a car, right? It reminds me of that kind of gasoline, but a little bit of like spring freshness. You've got the windows down. So I would kind of put it in this category, and I think it's a great fragrance to wear. Let's see. Some people put Kinze Ten, which is a beautiful leather fragrance launched in the 20s by Vincent Robert and Francois Coty in this category. It's one of the best leather fragrances ever made. And you should definitely look up the history of this fragrance, why it was made, who it was made for. It's amazing. There's like great leather, great tar, lots of beautiful flowers and citruses, like some beautiful moss and stuff. So definitely check that one out. I don't have a full bottle yet. I am kind of on the lookout for one. So definitely Kinze Ten, check it out. I just got a sample from Fragrance Vault that is amazing. I've actually worn it. I don't have it to show you because I wore it already. But it's a beautiful leather fragrance that I almost included because it does have a tiny bit of like kind of an almost oil, almost gasoline, but not quite. But it's beautiful. Let's see. A lot of people, like when you go and you kind of research this online, a lot of people also mention Serge Lutens Tubereuse Criminelle. Again, just because it's a tuberose fragrance that has a little bit of a methyl salicylate, camphoraceous, eucalyptol, big blast in the opening, and then tuberose itself also has methyl salicylate in the flower, so it emphasizes that aspect of the flower. But tuberose can also have this really cool kind of industrial off-gassing gasoline aspect to it, kind of this kerosene thing. So some people also include Tubereuse Criminelle in this list of car, like petrol, gasoline type fragrances, because you can get that aspect of it from the fragrance. So definitely check that out if you're interested. So I got these because I was curious, and I'm probably gonna, well, let's see. And I'm going to smell them with you. I haven't smelled them yet, but Formula One, you can kind of see the boxes back there. Formula One makes its own set of fragrances. They have eau de parfum and eau de toilette, and I think even a level that's higher than that. But I decided to grab some of them just to see what they smell like. Like, what does Formula One want to see in their own fragrances? And if you look at the descriptions online, they're all about all the stuff we've just been talking about. They are gasoline, petrol, hot asphalt, motor oil, this, the speed, the drive, all of the smokiness, all that stuff, burning rubber on asphalt. Those kind of things are what are supposed to be in these fragrances. So let's check them out and see. Let's start with, and they're cool. They come in these like cool bottles. I got all the eau de toilettes. The eau de parfums have like these interesting cages around them that really look like the newer safety cages that go over the drivers. But they're kind of streamlined. They kind of look like the newer cars. Like for me personally, my favorite F1 cars of all time are like the old school like Schumacher type style, but now they look like Lewis Hamilton's car, which is super cool. These kind of remind me of that, like those style of the make and models of the cars. But all right, let's start with Overtake. All right, Overtake 320. So this is supposed to be an amber spicy fragrance, launched in 2021, and the nose behind this fragrance is Emily Vivier Copperman, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Top notes of cinnamon, pepper, pink pepper, metallic notes, vanilla, tonka bean, geranium, base notes of guaiac wood, vetiver, and patchouli. Let's see what we think. Okay, so definitely cinnamon right away. And vanilla, cinnamon and vanilla. So this is, to me, it reads very sweet. Like very, very sweet. Definitely like cinnamon and vanilla. Kind of like yeah, like a cinnamic spiciness, cinnamic in the vanillic direction, kind of spiciness. Like a cinnamon candy almost. And then it does have this underneath, it has like a woodiness, like a, I don't know if you've ever had like, or smelled Santal by Flores. Almost that kind of like turning into like a, like you're eating a cinnamon candy next to a fireplace. Yeah, so this is, to me, it's sweeter. Sweeter, you get cinnamon, you get sandalwood-esque kind of a thing right off the bat. All right, we can maybe check this out later, but that's what I get, just my first impression. And these bottles, like, here's the thing about these bottles. They are not going to, like, the base is rounded. They're not going to stand up. So the bottles come with this little thing that will help it to stand up. So it kind of stands up like this, right? Sorry. Kind of stands up like this, so it won't fall over on your desk. All right, let's try a couple more, and then I have got to go. That was my husband calling. So I need to go and help with some childcare, I think. All right, let's try the next one. Okay, here is Neeeum White. Neeeum White. Again, eau de toilette. See what this smells like. Interesting. So this one is floral. Okay, definitely get florals. This is launched in 2021. The nose behind this fragrance is Fabrice Pellegrin. Notes are angelica, mandarin orange, aromatic spices, oak moss, violet leaves, woody notes, and patchouli. To me, it smells like narcissus and iris, like orris root. Definitely violet leaf. Like you get that kind of, almost gasoline violet leaf thing. So people say that this reminds them of Paco Rabanne 1 Million. So if you like that style of perfume, you might enjoy this. And I can kind of see it. Yeah, like definitely. So it's got that solar floral thing, plus a little bit of violet leaf. And there's citrus in there too, definitely. Yeah, it's like a melange of citrus spices, narcissus, a little bit of a milky thing. Yeah, I can see the Paco Rabanne 1 Million. Yeah, this one's okay. Yeah. All right, we'll see where this goes. All right, let's try another one. All right, this one is Precious Mettle. Precious Mettle. So this one is a woody aromatic launched in 2021 by Louise Turner. Top notes of mandarin, pink pepper, and lavender. Middle notes are leather, moss, and woody notes. Base notes are amber, vetiver, and patchouli. So this one kind of reminds me of like Versace Dylan Blue. but it's a little sweeter, maybe. Like there's more mandarin than like a bergamot lemony thing. And like a little bit of like Dior Sauvage kind of vibe. Definitely in that whole world. So probably a crowd pleaser, this one. All right, next one. Let's see. Only a couple more. Next one, let's try Turn One. Turn One. So this is supposed to be a woody aromatic, also launched in 2021, also by Fabrice Pelican. Let's see. Yeah, so this one gives me like definitely one of those like you know, fresh out of the shower kind of eau sauvage kind of vibes, like right away. Like, very popular, right? I think this will be very popular. All right, let's do the last one. I do not want to be late, so we're going to go pretty quickly. We're going to do, I think Precious Metal is the one we haven't done yet. Wait, no, I think we have. I think we need to do Overtake. Or have we? No, Precious Metal, I think. Sorry. Next time I try this, trying to smell, like doing kind of a first impression, I will try to be more organized. Oh no, I smelled this one already. Sorry. All right, so have we done all of them? Yeah, I think we've done all of them. Okay, I've got to run. Thank you so much. If you smelled any of these Formula Ones, I think they're very popular. In my opinion, they're well made. They seem very popular. I don't think I'm gonna wear any of them. I think I'm gonna save them for my son when he's a little older, so he can wear them in like high school, something like that. I think he'll really like them. And they're pleasant. They're well made. They remind me of some kind of eau sauvage type things, like Paco Rabanne 1 Million. I mean, they're very on point for some very popular types of fragrances. Nothing wrong with them at all. I think the ones that I talked about earlier, to me personally, are much more interesting and exciting and actually smell like race cars and tracks and gasoline and that kind of a thing, much more to me, in my personal opinion. That means they might be more challenging. They might be more difficult to wear, like at work or in public. But again, that's just my opinion. Thank you so much for being here. There's other fragrances I just haven't smelled yet that can be included definitely on this list. Like Histoire de Parfum has a fragrance called Petroleum. There's just so many. So please, if you know of a great car scent, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know. I would love to try it. Again, thank you so much. Apologies for all my mistakes, and have a wonderful day. Bye, friends.